Without tourism, without agriculture, we would still be very low down there. So, and of course, what will make the East African community grow, I think you have to take a look at the areas of tourism, ICT again, the infrastructure like roads, and of course, another factor that will make it better is the new constitution and the driving towards the Vision 2030. All these factors will give us a better impetus towards good economic growth for businesses. We cannot continue to do good business if the cost of energy is too high. We must find a way of reducing the cost of energy to appreciable level. To date, even though Kenyans enjoy VAT exemption in power utilization below 200 kilowatts, the business community is really suffering. So in my committee, we are talking with the Ministry of Energy to ensure that the cost of energy is reduced to make business worthwhile. That's a must. The ICT sector, I can see that some network operators are still stumbling. They're still teething down there. So the network operator like Safaricom, if Safaricom does not have competition, they cannot do better. So we want to see competition for Safaricom. If there's no competition, the price will go too high for Kenyans to afford, and therefore, and as a result, also make business more expensive. That's a good area to look at. Again, broadband. Broadband is in Kenya, and broadband has not been utilized as effective as it was supposed to be because the cost is still too high. We must be able to reduce the cost of broadband for Kenyan youth to be able to use broadband even in rural areas, to be able to do business online, data, or what you call digitization of files, of data, that can give them some income. But they can only do that if the cost of broadband is affordable. To date, hospitals in rural areas, we really need help because a situation in Karachuonyo, let me tell you, 160,000 constituents have only one doctor. I mean, how can you contribute to the growth of the country if you're sick? So we must embrace ICT to help us have remote or what I call telemedicine or even e-health so that Kenyans can get the medication they need. If you have the broadband, you can easily access the medicine somewhere, or a doctor, remote doctor, can be able to treat you effectively without having to wait for the doctor to look at you 2 days later. So broadband is very essential. The cost of broadband must go down. The Minister of Energy, the Minister of ICT has done so well. In fact, Kenya is going to make a big impact in the region by having the ICT park at Konza. It will be an eye-opener for the East African countries, community, because it will provide the ICT for business development to sustain the business everywhere. Yeah. To date, we have, I don't know if you know, but I've been actually, together with my committee, the Committee on Energy and Communications, we have been investigating a place in Malindi called San Marco. Many Kenyans didn't know that we have a rocket launching station in this country. We do have Stan Marco in Malindi, and we found out that we could use that to really assist the East African countries as a whole by providing proper data information for agriculture, for our universities, for our security, and so on. So the East African community or countries are actually into space age. They can form space science technology. So that area is also in there. In fact, we have so much in the East African community to vamp our businesses, yeah? To vamp up our businesses as much as we want. These 5 countries can do it all. I mean, they can rescue the whole of Africa with the food security, with the infrastructure, just name it, because we have it all. Why should Cote d'Ivoire import potatoes from Netherlands when we have potatoes in our islands here? The issue is communications. Can Kenya Airways take potatoes to Cote d'Ivoire? Yes, they could if there was communications. But I want to tell you that business cannot thrive if there's no ICT. For a long time, if you went to Congo DRC and Congo Brazzaville, they never communicated directly. Across the river, microwaves are facing each other, but each one must go to Brussels or France and come back to the other one because of political issues. To date, we should have Africa talking intra-Africa, and that's the way to have good business in our continent.
And that sort of sums up your expectation that Africa will begin to talk.
Yes.
African countries will begin to talk about amongst themselves.
Yes.
Be able to address the issues, the common issues that affect them and their common vulnerabilities as well.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Engineer Rege, for your insights, and especially bringing in the aspect around technology and how we can, African countries can use technology to their advantage going forward. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Viewer, I've been interviewing Engineer James Rege. He's a chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Energy and Communications, also the Member of Parliament for Karachuonyo, just giving us his own take ahead of the Africa Business and Security Conference, which will be taking place next week from the 13th to the 14th. My name is Stephen Kimani. Thanks a lot for watching. And coming up on the second half of Business Watch, Catherine Nasimiyu engages a new entrant in Kenya's data vending services market, and especially for those who need more information on Kenya's financial markets. Coming right after this short break.